Jim, from time to time we're asked to respond to casualties who've been gored by bulls or gored by cows or kicked by cows. How do we make sure that our responders are safe when they are called to respond to such situations?
I suppose the first thing there is always to make sure the scene is safe in particular, because if animals are still around, they're inquisitive and they're nosy, and they will get, and it depends then if that animal attacks somebody already, there's no guarantee that it won't attack somebody else. So you need to make sure that there are animals that are there already are isolated completely, that you're able to get in first of all to deal with the patient.
And what's the safest way of doing that?
Try and move the animals as a group, say, first of all. If they can move as a group instead of singling out an animal, try and move them a group away. Maybe if it's in a field, go out into another field, open a gap and just a few people to move them out into another field. That might be the obvious. If it's in a shed, that you can put them behind the gate, that they're safe that way.
So if we had a man that was flat inside against the wall there, what you would be advising us to do is open this gate, let the animals out and go in and let somebody else take over the care of the animals, and we go in and look after the casualty.
Absolutely, yeah. You'd have to let them out, because you go in there with equipment and all that. Animals are very inquisitive, and you never know. It's not out of being aggressive or anything like that. They may just kick out, or they may poke somebody. So you have to isolate the animals first of all before anybody will go into the area.
Sometimes our responders respond to gorings by bulls in open fields or paddocks. What's your advice when it comes to responding in that situation?
Well, again, I suppose that very often it's the farmer himself who is probably the person you would like to talk to as to where we can put them, whether you can put them into another field or whatever. Sometimes even like a strip of wire or even twine or something to make the area safe while you're carrying out the work is probably a useful idea there. But if you can at all, move them out of the field completely, because things like sirens and ambulances and colours and various things, they can upset animals and cause them to do things that they wouldn't normally do on a farm. They're not used to that kind of equipment coming on site.
So there'll be Dublin slickers looking at this movie who weren't able to get down from Dublin for the EMS gathering, unfortunately for them. So when it comes to opening the shed, quite literally you're saying to keep them, that they shouldn't approach the animal from behind. From behind, yeah. That the animal is looking down and laterally. What are the other salient features of the cow that or the animal that they should be mindful of to avoid them getting into trouble? Yeah, animals are always inquisitive, and I suppose they will suss out things that are strange or anything that's unusual to their environment. They will always suss that out, and the way they do that is they smell it really. So the head will go in first and they'll suss it out, they'll sniff it, and if they don't like it, then they may stand back and just size it up, and they may even attack or shove it off their nose, depending on whether it's a cow with a calf or something like that. But they have a good vision straight in front, so they have a tunnel vision at an angle out from the head each side like that. Behind then is a blind spot, so anybody who would approach an animal from behind, they're likely to get kicked there, because if the animal doesn't know they're behind, they're likely to get kicked. To the side then, the vision is good but not as good. It's a little bit blurred is what we call it there. So I suppose when you would approach the animal, try and approach them from the front that they can see you. Yeah. And then they will back off, or they will act according to the. And always move slowly towards animals. If you move very quickly, you can turn them in the wrong direction. If there was a casualty on the ground, a patient on the ground, you can actually turn them. So the way you move, nice and easy and gently. Good to have a stick as well, not to hit them around like that, but just something to have in your hand to control them as well.